Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to have you with me on this edition of Hope Now, Love and Relationship series. I've got all my sisters with me. Hi. The last time I saw you all like this was last Hope Now Zurich. So I'm very, very happy that you've honored this invitation to come speak to the ladies out there around the world virtually. We have a following all around the world, so you'll be speaking to people from virtually every continent of the earth about these issues. You know, we're talking about women, career, and relationships. So we're going to be covering on this edition the emotional and mental health of women, their relationships. You know, we're going to talk about domestic violence, and then we're going to talk about financial independence, which are the major things I believe that a modern woman needs to be equipped with in order to have, you know, a balanced self-esteem and productivity and take their place, you know, on the platform of the marketplace, in the marketplace as they should. So I'm going to introduce these wonderful ladies who are here before me on Zoom. Hi, Christa. I'm so happy to have you, Dr. Christa Urhlinger of Linking People. Thanks for joining. We have my sister, Dr. Ruby Bakshi Khurdi, the TEDx speaker, the woo lady. How are you? Nice to have you all the way from Montreal. And we have my very own sister, Winnie Ojanga, a fashion designer par excellence. Nice to have you all on, ladies. I'm very excited to have you. So we're going to be talking to ladies tonight, and I'm looking forward to hearing your views. You know, I'm looking forward to, and I'm sure so many ladies are also looking forward to hearing your advice, you know, and your inputs into the questions that I'm going to pose at you tonight. So let me just quickly read my intro. Unfortunately, there are still several issues challenging modern women. Starting from economic inclusion, financial systems, which perpetrate discrimination, to limited participation in politics and public life, lack of access to education in certain regions of the world, and poor retention of schools when they do get educated up to maybe tertiary level. We still have a lot of gender-based violence where women are victims, and we have harmful cultural practices in certain regions of the world as well. You know, we also have, with the advent of the social media, we have a lot of women, particularly the younger generation, who think it's okay to try and sell themselves virtually, or dehumanize themselves, or do all kinds of things on social media just to get male support or male attention. For this reason, I've invited you ladies tonight to speak to these questions I have. The first question is, we'll be addressing the emotional and mental health aspects of feminine life. Most women suffer from lack of care and support. We all know how women are very, you know, sensitive and very emotional, and they need tender, loving care. And most of the times, one of the major things I've experienced in counseling is women complaining about emotional unavailability of their male partners in relationship. And because of this, it affects them at work, it affects them in the society. You can see that they virtually live, you know, with this effect. The emotional loneliness, some women dealing with pregnancy stress alone, or even postnatal stress alone. They have the home management stress, they have the sense of abandonment. How can a modern woman manage her emotional and mental health in the midst of juggling all of these things? Ruby, would you like to start that?
No matter how modern she is, she always needs to have the support of her tribe, you know. So the more she has the support of her tribe, the more emotionally she'll feel secured. Because these days, you know, we have so many things happening all over. Like if you take the case of Corona, you know, a lot of us, we had the time to be at home due to lockdown. But some women who are emotionally weak, they felt it's like the end of it, because they're locked in the room, they can't do much, they can't go out. So for them, they were facing issues, they were facing problems. But those of them who are emotionally stronger, who are more resilient, I think for them, they felt it's a case where they can do self-care. It's a situation where they can take care of themselves and be more stronger, emerge more, and evolve more. So it's just a case of the mindset, how a person feels. If emotionally you're going through a roller coaster, you're feeling low, then of course you can't help it. So for that, you have to be emotionally strong. And if a particular woman is going through that, I think we as women can help such women by creating a support network, by making them emotionally feel you can do it. You just have to be a little bit more resilient. You just have to be a little bit more, stronger from inside. Because if she doesn't feel stronger from inside, we can't do much. So first, she needs to help herself from within. She has to feel, yes, I can do it, that kind of thing. And for that, we need to consistently keep on pushing her, giving her that emotional support that she can do it, and we are there for her. So mentally,
I like the angle of your angle of approach. So she needs a tribe. That's basically what you mean.
Exactly.
And this tribe should preferably be fellow women, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is what you're saying. I like that, because I don't know if the other ladies agree to. I do believe, I just said it a couple of days ago to women that, listen, stop expecting from the male counterpart whose wiring is not even able to process the emotional stuff you're going through. It's always best for ladies to have a network, a support network of other ladies. Is this what you meant?
Yes, exactly.
I think I can agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Because it's a support group. Because if you have a good support group, you can already feel a bit confident. If you are going through some rough phase, or you had a very turbulent experience in the past, but if you find your tribe, they can always there be for you. They give that emotional support that we are there. You have our back. So that will make her more stronger, and gradually she can evolve.
Oh, wow.
Gradually she can evolve. Yeah.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay, ladies, you heard that. I hear that. Know your tribe, find your tribe, get yourself an emotional support group. Women who will have your back. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. Do women get enough recognition and societal support for their talents, gifts, and contributions to the society? I'm going to ask you, Christa, this question. Do you think women get a fair recognition and societal support for their talents? Do you know any examples of that? It's always that you're always looking for women in politics, in industry, in marketplaces. What's your opinion?
Now, I think it also depends on where we are on the world.
Yeah.
I'm speaking right now on here in Europe, or say the more Western Europe. I would say it changed over time. And I just can give you the example of myself. I was in a male-dominated environment in my profession for a very long time. And I had a phase where I thought I need to change into a man to be heard. Until the very moment I realized, no, that's not true. I have to be a woman in a male's world. And that needs to be, I need to be clear about myself, who I am, and not pleasing somebody. So this to me requires some internal work with myself, figuring out what is hindering me, or why do I want to please my male colleagues, and then go from there. And I just realized it's so powerful to be a woman in a male-dominated environment, and also to set your boundaries and not to say yes to everything. And how can we get recognized if we don't raise our voices? If people don't hear us, they cannot give recognition or see what great things we do. And that's another part. I really would like to say, hey, raise your voices, find out who you are, what you want, be authentic and raise your voice. Because you can sit on your victim chair and thinking, I don't get recognition. But hello, sometimes you need to do something for it. So raise your voice and proud who you are as a female and use your female power. It's very powerful.
Come on. I like the sound of that. Use your voice, ladies. You have to have an internal resolution. I like that. Very powerful stuff. I think, yes, I mean, I always say all the time, the greatest power lies within us. That's virtually what you just said right now. The greatest love, the greatest acceptance comes from within you. You've got to accept that, hey, deal with it. I'm a woman in a male's world, professionally, you know, in the marketplace. And once you have that inner peace, then use your voice. Powerful stuff, really powerful stuff. Ladies, do we agree, Winnie and Ruby?
Yeah, sure.
It's very powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Very true.
Christa. Let's move on to the third one. The third one is what I think I would like to hear from everyone, your opinion. With the COVID-19 shutdown and the emergence of the importance of social media and internet as a tool of creating social media awareness, how can both men and women effectively support women in domestic violence issues and proactively educate and support women to prevent younger women from being involved in emotional or economically volatile relationships? And by the way, I got these questions by running this through a group, you know, of men and women around the world, and they are posing these questions to you. So I'm looking forward to hear this question number 3 being answered by 3 of you, if possible. Yeah. Winnie, would you like to give that a shot?
Concerning the domestic violence.
Yes. How can both men and women, you know, create awareness, you know, particularly using online with the shutdown in most countries going around to prevent, because again, I mean, counseling is a lot of domestic violence cases have cropped up in this period alone, you know, because people are going through a lot of emotional and mental stress right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, because right now what's happening across the globe is there's a rise on domestic violence, especially now that women and men are together with each other, and some of them cannot contain each other or cope with each other. So what I think is that immediately you realize that there's such a thing going on in any household, people should learn to go and look for the counseling or join support group that can help them.
Yeah. Counseling, that's powerful. Counseling and support group. That's powerful. That's powerful. You all heard it. Dr. Ruby, Dr. Christa, what would you also say to that? To that number 3? How can we create awareness, you know, to resolve this or to mitigate, as we say in law, these things, you know?
I think as a woman, you know, you immediately resonate with such women who are going through such pain, you know. So if you hear of something like this, even if it's not your own friend or if it's not in your own circle, I think we should not wait and watch. We should jump into action, because this is a critical area and it calls for action. Instead of sitting and watching like a drama, we can create a support group. If we hear through somebody, it's not in your immediate circle of friends, but we hear through somebody that someone is going through this pain, someone is getting, you know, beaten, or someone is getting physically abused. It's not just, you know, physically beating somebody, but it could be a mental abuse as well a person is going through. And sometimes women from certain cultures, they don't have a voice. They hesitate. They're afraid of the societal pressure.
Yeah.
Coming from India, I used to hear such things. I used to see such things in movies, but I did not believe that it exists actually in real
life. Yeah.
Yes. I never thought that, you know, could beat a woman or his own sister or his own mother or wife, you know, in any form of a womanhood. Someone could go through something so merciless. But when I came here, I noticed that, yes, it actually exists, because in the past I'd never seen it. So what we should do it to create awareness is, the moment we see such thing happening, support such women, tell them to raise a voice. Don't just be silent, because people who are silent, they are equally giving others more opportunity to beat them. If the guy,
that's right.
If you are accepting him that he's beating you, and you say, oh, okay, it was just once, he's my boyfriend, he was just, you know, he was drunk and he did it, but he didn't mean it. So by doing, you're supporting him, you know, you are giving him a chance to do it again, you know. First time,
that's enablement.
Exactly. And first time it's, you're shocked, you are like, oh my God, it happened. And then sometimes you as a woman get used to it and don't say stop. So I think the moment it is happening for the first time, we need to create awareness by educating, whether it's through posters, use social media. These days we are free, you know, we can use social media, we can exploit social media in this or that, you know. Tell such women, do not support it. The moment it is done for the first time, just stop it there and then.
No to domestic violence. Exactly. I think we're going to run a campaign like that. I'll get you ladies to endorse it.
I'm in.
Say no to domestic violence. We'll put it on social media. I'm going to talk to our graphic designer to do one poster. No to domestic violence. It's been horrible in the past few weeks, ladies. It's been horrible. It's been horrible.
I think Ruckey, also just to add on top of that, I think we should not judge these women who are the victims, who are going through such kind of issues. And we should also believe their stories and really start a conversation from there.
Believe the stories, yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's what I believe the Me Too movement also tried to do in the US. It's not just about only domestic violence. It's also about all of this gender-based violence, molestation, all of these things that women go through, and women never had a voice. So just like Ruby said, I think the powerful thing to do is allow the woman have a voice, which is what you're saying to Winnie. We shouldn't refuse a woman her right to be heard, you know? It's a fundamental human right. Right, Dr. Christa?
I just would like to add, I fully agree, but I also would like to add that I oftentimes see there's a lot of shame involved. So I feel ashamed of it because I was beaten, and I just would like to shout out, don't feel ashamed. Because if we reach out, also we can strengthen us by reaching out, so we can support. And additionally, I fully agree. So that if we see something, if we are not involved, and we see something, that we are really taking action. Because, I just
right. No shame. No shame. Speak out.
And also, I think other point of view could be, you know, the guys who like, if it's a guy getting beaten up, or sometimes it could be a guy also. We all
That's right. That's right, Ruby. Yeah, you're right.
So it can
cases,
exactly. So sometimes it can be a guy also who's getting beaten up by his wife. So whether it's a guy or it's a woman, anybody, we should also take into consideration the other person who's beating up. Why is he beating up? You know, we always go after the victim. Oh, poor lady, she has been beaten up. That's good. You know, we need to support them. But at the same time, I think it will be nice if we are creating an awareness, we also need to look on the other side. Causing him to beat the other person, because beating, abusing is not something anyone likes. But if he is doing it, what is the cause of?
He's probably a victim too.
Probably he was beaten when he was small, or she was beaten when she was small, you know, and then they are showing it's their revenge time. When I was little, I couldn't do anything. Now I'm stronger, now I'm more powerful, so I need to hit back. Now it's my time. So some people do that also.
That's right.
I think
right.
Whoever
it's just an unfortunate circle, you know?
Exactly.
It's sad. It's sad. Oh, wow. Thank you, ladies. You've done justice to that question. And if anyone is watching us, please, and you're going through domestic violence, or you know anyone going through domestic violence, please don't hesitate to reach out in any country you are. I'm very sure that there will be a special sender, you know, a special government task force or the police who can intervene and help you. It is dangerous both for you and for the one who is doing the beating as well if something is not done very fast. Okay, ladies, let's move on to the final one. We're talking about financial independence for ladies. At the heart of most gender-based discrimination and abuse is financial dependence. How can women become more financial independent? And this is talking about their personal lives and also their corporate life. So you probably know about it. There are ladies at home who just are unable to earn as much as their husband does. And so because they're not on a level playing field, they go through oppression in any form. I mean, this is what I do. I've seen too many horrible stories like that, where the man believes he has the upper hand and all of that. And one of the things we try to do in intervention is try to get the lady to become a little bit more financially independent as well. So on the personal scene, it's a problem. Corporately as well. A lot of women get into all kinds of stuff to compromise, and they put themselves in compromising situations at work because they believe that, you know, it's just almost impossible for a woman to become independent of their boss or anything, anyone, you know, in position that is able to promote them or to enhance their payment. How do you think women, a modern woman, you know, can become more financially independent? Christa.
Let me start on the personal level. So I was brought up in a family where the very traditional role, the finance is tied into men and not to women. And
Wow.
so I didn't really learn. I mean, I grew up, I knew there is money and so on, but it was always to men. Also, I was interested in it. It was curious. So that's an interesting setting to grow up, and I think still nowadays it's quite common in some families. And then later on I realized, and so I had the image of money, finance, kind of here to secure my life, and if I lose it, so I was afraid of losing it. So I think that's kind of a pattern. And only later I discovered, hey, no, money can be my friend. It's a resource, and I can work with it actually. And this part of learning to work with money, I think that's the important part. That's it's not just something you receive and you have it and you spend it or you keep it or you save it or whatever you do with it. It's a resource you can work with. And so I think it's important to learn about finance.
Wow.
It's education from an earlier age. So again, to empower women and not just to leave it up to whoever. And also later on in the corporate world, say negotiation about wages.
Yeah.
That's a topic. I think it's so important to be very clear what you want. It's again, before you even go into a negotiation,
contracting,
know what you want, because if you know what you want, you're clear about it. And if not, and you're not clear about it. I mean, I had situations like that. I went very naive when I was younger into some negotiation, and I thought they give me what I will learn, and that's just not the place to be. So I think it needs two phases. It needs education, finance. So use it as a resource. It works for you. You can do something with it.
Yes.
And the second is really be clear about what
negotiation.
Negotiation and go there prepared.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. I perfectly agree with you. Education, financial education. Like you said, most of the time, ladies are not encouraged or even offered, financial education. I've also had to learn, very extensively in recent years about money. I had zero idea. Like you said, I knew money is to be made and spent, but the financial education, how most guys are exposed to that early on in life, is not something that women are consciously exposed to. So a woman has to proactively seek financial education. It's not a matter of cost. Ladies, you need to please grab all the educational knowledge about money that you can out there, how to become financially independent, how to save, how to invest, you know. And like Dr. Christa said, negotiation is very powerful too. You need to know how to negotiate and how to, your selling points. I believe that's what you're saying, right? That's very powerful. That's very powerful. Thank you so much. Does any of you ladies have any other thing to add on this particular question?
Ruckey,
yeah.
As women, I think we should also learn to create opportunities for ourselves, especially if you find there's a door closed somewhere, you can always create yours. And you know, from a very small, you know, zone, your comfort zone, start your
like that.
You know, so those are things.
I like that. I really like that. Yes. Create opportunities, ladies. You need to be very flexible and creative. You need to create opportunities. You know, don't just wait for things to happen automatically. Go and make them happen, ladies. That's powerful. Thank you, Winnie. And so we're rounding up now. What positives can women, where obviously maybe somebody's watching this video in 10 years time and they don't know what we're talking about. So we have this COVID-19 pandemic going on and the whole world is virtually on a lockdown or shutdown or partial lockdown. But for women, what positives can women take away from this shutdown due to COVID-19? And what can women do to enhance emotional and economic well-being this season to prepare them for the next season that the world is going to go into? Ruby, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I think this COVID-19 has been a learning experience for most of us, men as well as children. It was a awakening call, I think, from God, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Cool down, just, you know, be calm a little bit. I guess every one of us is just running, is just in a rat race, you know, to reach somewhere. So this COVID-19, I think, has been like an eye opener to, you know, to calm down a little bit, give time to yourself, spend some time with your loved ones, because sometimes there are situations that you feel, I wish I had some time, I could just relax with my family. I wish I had some time, I could take care of my passion, but I have not been able to do. So I guess this COVID-19 has or could be a learning experience for those who have think it is a lockdown, or I feel bored, or I'm just sitting in the house doing nothing. Ladies, gentlemen, or children, like, come on, wake up. You know, if you have not done so far, maybe this is your time to do something more creative. Look within yourself, find yourself better. You know, try to have a connection with yourself. Or not about exercises, but something that you need to think within, you know, something that if there was a lag, something happening, like not a technological lag, but a lag between you and how the world is moving forward. I think we need to slow down and take care of those things more. And you'll see, I mean, for me, I can share my personal experience. It's been a learning experience. You know, I spent some good quality time with my children. They started cooking. They started doing.
You can learn new recipes.
Exactly. We are learning new recipes from each other. I learned some technical things from my children because technically they are more advanced than us. They are techno kids, I would say. So I learned certain things. I learned some things for my YouTube channels, how I can make it better. You know, so it has been a learning experience, I would say. You know, if you try to have a good emotional balance.
Yes.
Exactly. We have to find a good emotional balance.
Just to stay positive, I believe. Yeah.
Maybe this is for the first time. It might take a little longer. So don't lose hope. You know, have hope and keep on going. Keep on going.
Hope now.
Hope now.
Don't lose hope.
Exactly. Hope now. It is the
Don't
time.
lose
Do it
hope.
now.
You must have hope now every day.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow, that's powerful, ladies. Ruby, Christa and Winnie, do you have any other parting words for ladies about what they can do to enhance their emotional well-being in this shutdown? Hopefully it doesn't go on for longer. At least we know about Switzerland, but I know some countries are still fully in the middle of it. What can they do?
Well, personally, I think I've learned so much from the whole experience going on across the globe, you know. And I've actually started appreciating little things in my life, you know, like, you know, doing some things that I used to neglect, going out for walks, you know, connecting with my friends, even online, you know, things that I used to neglect, you know.
Neglect. That was Christa's stories too. Yeah.
And another thing, what I think is that we must also learn to embrace the culture of working from home. You know, so
I agree with you. I think the world is moving slowly towards there. I was just saying that earlier today. I think a lot of us will realize at the end of the day, it's a huge possibility to look into. Yes, that's true. Thank you for that. Christa, Dr. Christa.
I would say what I learned, apart from many things we just heard, is that life is very precious and every moment is very precious, and live much more out of the moment and don't plan 5 weeks or 5 months ahead. I mean, sometimes you need a bit, but I discovered the beauty in the moment, which is such a potential also for creativity. That's one thing. And second, I would also like to say, I think we should be grateful for this situation, because it really teaches us a lot, and it gives us opportunities and chances to be creative, to learn something, to be with our loved ones, and so on and so forth. So at the moment, I'm getting very angry if I hear all those negative voices, you know, this was bad and this was bad and this was bad. I'm like, hello, guys and girls, could we just say thank you?
Thank you, yes.
And move on. And I think that's important too. To me, it's a mindset. If you have a more positive mindset, sure, it's not always easy to be 24 hours, 7 days
at
positive, but I think there are really chances in it also for the world and humanity and the planet.
I believe you. Wow, this has been a very powerful edition. Thank you so much, ladies. It is true. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen watching us around the world, it is very true that there's a new dawn coming, and we can all learn to be very, very positive. Just like Christa said, we can learn new skills, like Ruby said, you know, and for Winnie, you can reconnect with some of the things you neglected, like taking walks just out there in nature and appreciating, you know, things around you. Who knows? You just might come back home with new ideas from your walk. Okay, it's all about perspective and positive energy. I hope that we've been able to add value to you, particularly ladies, but men as well, because we need you men to be cooperative and support the women, right? Okay, ladies, let's all say bye to the whole team around the world. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Christa. Thank you so much, Winnie. Thank you so much, Ruby. It was nice having you ladies on. I hope to see you again very soon on another edition. Bye.